Good morning, students. We were doing evolution and fundamentals of business. Today we are going to discuss about business activities and history of commerce. We know that there are three economic activities, that is profession, business and employment. And in business as an economic activity, we have already discussed about characteristics and objectives of business. Now, if you want to go for business as an economic activity, you have two options. Either you can go for industry, means manufacturing, or you can go for commerce. Commerce means buying from someone and then selling to the consumer. I mean to say that if you want to go for business as an economic activity, you have two choices. You can open your own industry, or you can distribute the goods which are already available in the market. So if you want to go for industry as an economic activity, then what do you mean by industry? In industry, the raw material is converted into a useful finished products. So it is involved in production where raw material undergo change and gets converted into finished products. And what is commerce? Commerce is activities which fall under the purview of commerce, involve helping directly or indirectly in the distribution of goods and services from producer to the user or ultimate consumer. You can take the exam in commerce, you can take the example of wholesalers and retailer. They don't manufacture the product, they distribute the product to the consumer directly or indirectly. Today we are going to discuss about the history of trade and commerce. This topic is very important. This was added last year in your syllabus. So you all are required to make all the notes from this topic in your business studies notebook. See, our country, Indian subcontinent, has Himalaya in the north and bordered by water in the south. So silk routes were established. With the help of silk routes, we were trading all over the world. So earlier the system of banking was different. Nowadays we have bank system where we can go deposit the money and do all the transaction, which helps in trading. But earlier the system was different. Money was invented later on. Earlier the metal came into use as the money. So there were some bankers, those who act as all the activities of banking were done by then. So there were some documents which are called hundi and chitti, were in use for carrying out transaction in which money passed from hand to hand. So hundi basically is a you can say a warrant, the payment of money, the promise or the order to pay the money. So it was basically used for trading. For example, I want to buy something. So hundi is a promise to pay some amount after so and so time. So they were capable of change through transfer by valid negotiation. Negotiation means that you can the amount extra, you can say interest, which we have to pay on hundi is negotiable. So hundi was basically a system which was used. Hundi and chitti, they were basically related terms, and they were used to transfer the money from one person to other person, because banking system was not there that time. After indigenous banking system, there was a rise of intermediaries. These intermediaries were providing considerable financial security to the manufacturers. Manufacturers are the people, those who were manufacturing the products, so they were providing financial support to them. So commercial and industrial banks later evolved to finance trade and commerce, and agriculture banks to provide both short-term and long-term loans to financial agriculturists. So you can see that now we have commercial and industrial banking system, but earlier it was not there. Transport system also was not like that what we have today. So earlier the land and water transport were popular. So trade routes were structures wide and suitable for speed and safety. So you know about Vasco da Gama. He invented a route from America. So there was a change in transport system also in our ancient times. After some time, the trading communities also strengthened. So in different parts of the country, like you can say Punjabi and Multani merchants handled business in the northern region. The Bhatts managed the trade in the states of Gujarat and Rajasthan. So these communities also strengthens. Other urban groups included professional classes such as Hakim and Ved. You can say the lawyers, the pandits, the painters, musicians. So all these communities also strengthened after some time. Then after that, merchant corporations also develop. These are the associations of people, those who were fighting for the merchants. Like there were different type of taxes, you can say octroi duties and custom duties. So they discussed all these taxes with the that time's government, whatever it was. So they basically worked for the protection of the interest of the traders. The ferry tax was also there. It was a good source of income generation, which had to be paid for passenger goods, kettles or carts. So all these communities, they developed during the past. You can see these were the major exports and imports that time. Exports were the spices, wheat, sugar, indigo, opium, sesame oil, cotton. These were the exports, and imports were horses, animal products. So these all were the products which were exported and imported that time. So position of Indian subcontinent in world economy. So between the 1st and the 7th century, India is estimated to have the largest economy of the ancient and medieval world, controlling about one third and one fourth of the world's wealth. So the 18th century India was far behind Western European in technology, innovation, and ideas. In the mid 18th century, the British Empire began to take roots in India and use the revenue generation by different provinces under its rule for purchasing Indian raw materials, spices, and goods. So our position of Indian subcontinent increased. They were having a good share in the world's wealth. Then India began to reindustrialization and our country got independence in 1947. After independence, our government established many public sector units. So in 1952, the first 5-year plan was implemented and importance was given to the establishment of modern industries, modern technology and scientific institutes, space and nuclear programs. However, our country was not able to cope up with all these things. India has to borrow so much money from other sources, foreign sources, and even our country faced crises also in 1991. But today Indian economy is one of the fastest growing economy in the world and preferred FDI destination. All these terms you will understand later on also. So the recent initiatives of the government of India, such as Make in India, Skill India, Digital India, and roll out of foreign trade policy, is expected to help the economy in terms of exports and imports and trade balance. This is your homework. You have to make notes from the video because this topic is added last year, so maybe it is not in your books. So you have to all note down all the main points from the video, and you have 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to do all this work. Thank you. Have a nice day.